Unstoppable here, and in today's video we're covering something kind of weird again. So this topic is Vanoss subbotting slash view botting, and I know I'm gonna get a ton of a shitload of hate for this video. I don't really give a shit, honestly. There's nothing he can do to me. So let's go ahead and see why I think this, and there's actually quite a few reasons behind it. So I do want to verify something first. So I created this SoundCloud account in 2013, and the way to check that is if I go to here, actually if I go to stats and then I go to all time, it will show the fact that the first time I liked a song slash listened to a song was 2/04 of 2013. Keep that in mind, that's 5 years ago. I'm sorry, it's 6 years ago actually. I keep on thinking it's 2018, my bad. But yeah, no, so that was 6 years ago. Okay, this video was created in April 10th of 2013. Okay, now I do want to show you guys the fact that I used to love watching his videos. In fact, to the extent of where I created a playlist from 5 years ago.
Can you get it when you miss me? Like I'm with whiskey, drinking Jim Beam. Yeah, baby, do it there.
But you guys who have been subscribed to him for a long time probably remember that song, and if you don't, I'm going to reload this page completely. I'm not editing this.
This is an ad for a project management tool called Monday.com. This is what it looks like, and this is what it feels like.
But here's the interesting thing. I go ahead and skip to the end. Guess what song he uses?
Thank you guys so much once again.
Alright, so that kind of proves how long I've been subscribed to him, because this video was made in 2013. I have something from 2013 in my playlist that was made in 2013. And if even more proof is just showing this right here. So if you go to the link, now why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? Because I have no way to prove this next fact. But back when I was subscribed to him, he had, I can't remember, it was either under 1 million or he had exactly 1 million. Alright, now that's kind of an interesting fact, because that means that he went from under 1 million slash 1 million to 24 million subscribers in 6 years. He basically blew up almost as, well, not quite as fast. You know, PewDiePie blew up very, very fast. But PewDiePie I have no problems with. This guy I do. Because here's the thing, if you go, so we're going to go to his channel now, so just that proved that, you know, I've been subscribed for quite a while. If I go to his channel, there's some sketchy stuff going on. And the reason why I say that is, if you look at his views, so I'm going to have Notepad and we're going to go ahead and compare this via Windows. Alright, so look, he has 1 million views, he has 1.4 on that video, 1.7 on the next, 1.8 on the next. These are unedited. I just put it in this, you know, so that I could type and have it there. So you see he has 1 million, 1.4, 1.7, 1.8. Alright, the next video he has 2.6, 2.3. So there's nothing that's consistent yet. But if you guys continue to scroll down, it says 1.8. Sounds like a repeat, huh? And then we have 2 million. Interesting. And then if we continue to go down, it says 2.6. Sounds like a repeat. 1.8 again. Alright. We have 1.8 3 times so far. Now that is unheard of, because YouTube is very inconsistent. Most people will say that it's hard to get, you know, a house or a car under YouTube money because it's so inconsistent that most people will not accept it. But here's the thing, this man, look at this. Alright, so just based off of the, I'm not going to count that, you know, these videos that I've done so far, we have 3 1.8s, unless I missed one. We have 3 2.6s, 3 2.6s, and then we have a few in the 2 million range, nothing really too consistent there. So I do have another correction to make here, and technically I guess you guys could say that even though they're consistent, like millions wise, they're not really consistent. Like, you know, hundreds of thousands of views, they're probably off by quite a bit. But the thing is, is that you got to realize that if people do use subbots/viewbots, they still are probably getting actual views and subs, but the thing is that it will probably be more or less in the same like ballpark. So you know, if you see something that's 1.8 million consistently over and over again, you can't say that's just pure, you know, actual views, because it's too consistent for YouTube. That's just the easiest way to say it. So that's kind of, I kind of had to make that little small correction. If I were to go into each individual video, it would be probably a few 100,000 off, but that's just because those are actual people watching. And if my theory is correct, I don't know if it is, but if it is, then you know, that's why in millions of views they're very, very close together, view wise. So let's take a peek. Maybe, you know, the 2.6 million and maybe the 1.8 million are the same games. Maybe that's the reason why he's getting those same amount of views for those videos. So let's take a peek at which videos have 1.8 million views. So we have Scribble.io, sorry, and then we have, what's this video? Shotgun Farmer. I don't even know what that is. But the point is, these two games are not the same game. So you can't even come up with the excuse of saying, oh, you know, okay, that game is the same game. However, if I continue to scroll up, Uno is not the same game. Okay, guys, Uno is not the same game as Shotgun Farmers and Scribble.io. Those are different games entirely. So it's not like you can even say it's the same fan base, you know, hoarding over to another game. That's not the case. It's if it was the same fan base, they'd be watching the same content, because that's how YouTube works. People just don't watch whatever, you know, they don't want to see. I mean, that's kind of common sense too. Now, that is super sketchy. As I said, there's a ton of consistencies, and that just doesn't happen in YouTube. In fact, if I were to go to PewDiePie, which is by far the biggest channel right now, it literally is the biggest channel, and I go and check him out, the thing is that he has 3,000 videos, alright? If I go to his videos, there's no consistency. He has 2.2 million, 5.1 million, 4.5, 8 million, 5.5, 4.8, 5.4, 6.7, 3.7, 6.7, 14 million, 6.9. There is nothing consistent. Okay, there's two videos that are consistent. But the point is that there's much less consistency here as compared to Vanoss. The fact is that, like, I could probably go through these numbers and they would probably not be too consistent, because that's how YouTube works. Alright, that's just how YouTube works. You know, that's why, like I said, you can't really get a monthly payment plan for a phone or for a car or for a house, because YouTube doesn't work that way. You get inconsistent amounts of pay for monetization. Alright, another fact is if I go to the Social Blade website, which, in case you guys don't know, it's basically tracks subscribers, likes, view counts, and stuff like that for all the YouTubers. And it also does it for, you know, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Dailymotion, Mixer. It basically just tracks a bunch of data to make it so that you can see it all at once. Alright, now I'm going to search Vanoss here. I'm sorry, my bad. You know what's funny is if you search up Vanoss, this is what appears, but you have to search up VanossGaming to get them to appear. So this is another interesting aspect of it. So the views actually are not that sketchy. I mean, yeah, they're kind of weird. You know, the fact that he's getting roughly about 4 million, 4.8 million, 4.5, 4 point, you know, that's kind of sketchy. But this is the part that worries me more. Look at that. 4,000 subscribers every single day, consistently, and then it does 3,000, you know, 3,800, roughly about 4,000, and then 3,300, 4,800. This one doesn't make sense, but the rest of these are all super consistent. And then we have this one, which is really low, and here's my theory behind that. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but subbots, I said subscribe bots, I don't want to sound overly sophisticated when I don't have to be. So when we have subbots, alright, they actually have programmed them in a way where they're inconsistent. And the reason for that is so that they're not as easily detectable. It's an actual thing. Like, you guys can Google it. They don't keep it consistent on purpose so that YouTube doesn't detect it as an issue. And so seeing stuff like this, where it's roughly about the same every single day, and then it's roughly about the same for 2 days, and then it's roughly about the same, and then it changing for 1 day, keep in mind, and then going back to consistent again, is very, very sketchy. It's very sketchy. Like, there's no way that you guys can't see what I'm seeing right now. Like, it's beyond sketchy, the fact that, like, there's just too much consistency with his channel. And if I were to go to PewDiePie on here, it wouldn't even be close to this. Like, there's no consistency in YouTube. And I've already said this. But let's go to PewDiePie. Let's take a little peek. That's not consistent. Nothing about this is consistent. 197, 272, 224, 184, I'm sorry, I messed up. 185, 151, 147, 109. Okay, so there is 2 days that's consistent, but like the rest of these are all completely different numbers. Like, they're not really even that close. And that's my point. He is the biggest YouTuber right now, and with the Battle with T-Series, this is actually fairly legitimate. And the video views are always going to be kind of close, but I don't really count those because okay, when we're talking about the grand scale, it's going to be consistent, but when we're talking about video to video, it shouldn't be consistent. I don't know if that made any sense, but that's why this is based on the grand scale, right? And so it kind of makes much more sense for it to be consistent in the grand scale compared to, you know, video to video. There's nothing really too inconsistent. The thing is that I struggle to believe, and maybe I'm just like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a negative Nancy or something like that, but here's the thing, it's very just weird how all this works out, you know? And I know like some of his other like friends channels like Mini Lad, H2O Delirious, who else? What's his name? The guy with the N, I forgot what his name was. They all dropped off. They all just dropped off. Okay, so I have a correction to make here. When I said dropped off, I don't mean like as in they're just dead, like their channel's done for. I mean like they went from getting, you know, millions and millions and millions of views to just, you know, a few 100,000, which is still really good. But compared to, you know, how much they were, you know, how well they were doing, it, you know, it doesn't really compare as nicely. And like most of these channels, like I'm looking at H2O Delirious right now, and if you look at him, he's only getting, you know, between 100,000 and 500,000 compared to 5 million a video, you know, 2 million a video, 3 million a video. Mini Lad is not quite as bad. If you look at him, he's still getting 1 million per video, so he's still doing pretty well. But again, his most popular video had 7.3 million views, and a lot of his other videos had more than 1 million. So again, that's just kind of showing him dropping off also. And I could literally go through Vanoss's friends, and I could show you guys that like most of them have had this same pattern where they had tons and tons of views a long time ago, and over time they've just kind of gone down and down and down. But you know, I guess you could just say that's just the ad, you know, Apocalypse and YouTube Red. But I just want to make that correction here just to not trigger too many people. So, alright. Now I will say right here, this is like, look at this. Are you kidding me? And then again, we have weeks upon weeks of getting the exact same amount, 2 days upon getting, you know, the same amount. And then we have some inconsistencies, but again, it's just, it's too much to say that, you know, it's not sketchy. I definitely want to do more research to figure out if this is true or not. But I do think that it is a very decent point because, like I said, there's just too much consistency for somebody who, you know, is on a platform that has been known to not be consistent. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video to kind of show this to you guys. I thought it was interesting. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know I'm about to get a lot of dislikes. I'm okay with it though. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. This has been Unstoppable, and I'll see you guys later.